Trent Harvey, I got that work, now rock out.
Got the leg sleeve and the shoes. That blue looks so good. Alright. But it's definitely a A1 summer. Check them out. Check them out. Leg sleeve. Boot A1s. Boom, boom. Alright. Get this episode started. Alright. Welcome home with your host, Lady Blue Flames. Today is episode 8. The first week of the WNBA has been completed, so we will go over all those games and kind of where teams are looking like after the first week. Also, blue A1s and the A1 leg sleeve as promised. I am getting a few more other things, and like I said, it is definitely a A1 summer, so definitely gonna see a lot of A1 material over the next few episodes. But we showed off the pearl shoes last episode, but after week 1 we got Minnesota is 3-0. They've won all 3 of their games in week 1. New York Liberty is at 2. They've won both of their games. Phoenix 2-0 as well. Washington 2-1. Indiana 2-1. Golden State 1-1. The Aces 1-1. Seattle 1-1. The Sparks 1-2. Atlanta 1-2. Connecticut 0-2. Chicago 0-2. Dallas 0-3. So that is the standings and the records through week 1 of the season. And Minnesota, not a surprise. They've come out. I knew they were going to be kind of on a revenge tour because they lost in the finals last year. So they came out the gates ready to go. And they have much of their core, so they don't really have to learn each other like some of the other teams do. New York, same, not surprised. They had a few new additions, but they have their main core as well. So they hit the ground running just like Minnesota did. Phoenix, a little bit of a surprise. They're 2-0. They're 2 of their big 3 is playing. Kalia Copper is out after having the procedures. She's going to be out for a little bit. But Alyssa Thomas and Satu Sabali have been hooping. So they got them at 2-0 right now. Washington sitting at 2-1. A surprise as well, given the injury to one of their rookies or more. And then Shakira missed, I think, 1 or 2 games. She missed the first game, and she played a little bit the second and third game. Aaliyah Edwards is still out with her back. So we've been relying heavily on our rookies these first couple games. And then Sykes has been balling. So it's still a surprise to see them at 2-1, but we'll get to them as well. But their rookies have been hooping, and Sykes has been hooping, so they've been looking good so far. Indiana 2-1. Surprising loss to Atlanta. It was a close game, but I was definitely surprised that they took that L because they could have technically. I would have thought Indiana would be 3-0 right now, but they're 2-1. They're still trying to get their rhythm as well, because even though they have 3 of their core, they added 2 other really good pieces. So they still have to get used to playing with each other with especially with Bonner added, and that just kind of puts another piece to how their offense is going to run. So I don't see them taking too many L's this season once they really like get playing with each other. Golden State 1-1. Not surprised. I figured Golden State's going to win some games. They're probably not going to win a majority of the games. They're going to win some games, so no really surprises there. Aces 1-1. Their first game, they looked like they struggled. Second game, they came out just ready to hoop. So they're still looking like they're working out some kinks as well, but not really worried about them. Seattle 1-1. Had a similar story to the Aces. One game looked really just not good and together, and then the next game they came out and really played. So I think it's just a combination of new pieces and trying to figure it out. They'll develop a consistent stretch. So Sparks 1-2. They got a lot of new pieces. They got a new coach, so they're still trying to gel as well. People forget that a lot of these teams have not had a lot of time together. Training camp is short. Preseason is short. And so once that season starts, if you have a lot of new pieces, you're still going to take a few games to really fill each other out. Atlanta 1-2. Connecticut 0-2. Chicago 0-2. Dallas was a surprise for me to be 0-3. But they're in a similar boat with new coach, new pieces, and they have a really talented roster, but you can tell they're still trying to learn to play off each other a little bit. So I'm not panicking about Dallas either. Like, I'm not panicking about any teams. I'm not getting overly excited about any teams because it's only been 1 week. Half of the teams have new coaches, new lineups. So some of these teams are still learning and getting used to each other, or a new system, or both. So week 1 was definitely very entertaining. The games were fun to watch. They were competitive. There were a few that were like, blowouts, but a lot of them were close games going back and forth, which I think is going to make for a great season because you just want to see really good basketball. Blowouts are going to happen at some point, but I think in general, over the course of the season, a lot of us just want to see really good basketball games. And I think we're going to get that this season with how each team has worked this offseason, whether it was in free agency, drafts. A lot of teams have gotten better, but they still need some time to work together and create consistency with each other and really get used to how each other plays and getting everybody in their right spots. But week 1 has definitely been a very good week 1 for the WNBA, a good week for the fans to see some really good basketball, and a lot of rookies actually got playing time, so we got to see a lot of rookies actually play so far this season, which is good as well, because there's been seasons where rookies really didn't get a lot of play unless they were like the number 1 or 2 pick. They didn't get a lot of play, but this season a lot of teams are actually playing their rookies. Most of the teams that kept their rookies have the space and the availability to actually let them play and learn the system and learn to be a pro in the WNBA. So I think it's very exciting for the rookies coming in. Like, they're actually going to be able to get some live play time and learn as they go, because the season goes very fast. There's not a lot of time to practice. There's a lot of games. So they're going to have to learn game to game to game on the fly, and not be like, oh, we got practice for the next 2 weeks and I can pick up some stuff. Nah, they got a whole bunch of games, maybe a day or two off in between, but a lot of games and very few detailed practices with their teams and with their coaches and with their teammates. Okay, let's see. That was most of the teams. We're going to go. New York just broke the 3-point record for a game last night. I think it was 19 team threes, and which I discussed before in preseason. a lot of teams have gotten better from the 3-point line, so we may see a lot of 3-point records broken, and then just a lot of people making threes, and so it's going to be an interesting season because a lot of teams have pretty dominant bigs too. So I don't know if that will balance out or it'll stay true to kind of how we started with teams taking a lot of threes. So it'll be interesting to see. But New York is looking good. Cloud is fitting in really well with the system there. So they've looked really sharp. Washington, their 2 rookies, Sonya and Kiki, have been hooping. They've been starting. They've been playing. For the most part, Kiki got in foul trouble 1 game, but they've been playing and learning the system and just playing and not trying to overly do too much, but do what's in their skill set. And if things aren't working, like doing other things in the game as well. So it's definitely been fun watching the rookies of Washington. I went to the home opener, like they was out there hooping. And the other thing I noticed, if they get down, they don't panic. They fight back. Like they're not going down easy, which I love that for our team. Like we don't go down easy. And so even if they have a stretch of like a couple mistakes or things not going their way, they coming for it. Like they not just gonna be like, oh, they go game. Like no, they coming back and they trying to win. Let's see who else has some bright spots I was going to talk about. Atlanta's going to be interesting because they still look like they really haven't built like a connection or rhythm of like how they're going to move the ball. Because they got Ryan, they got Alicia Gray, and they just added Griner. And so I think anytime you add a player of Griner's size and skills, you have to learn a way to take advantage of that when they're on the court, offensively and defensively. And this is their first season there, so it's going to take a while take them a little bit to get acclimated. Unfortunately, the W can't take too long because the season does go very fast. But I do see them getting better and winning more games. So hopefully they can. It's coffee. I told you you're supposed to be drinking water. And then for Connecticut, we haven't seen Anissa Morrow just yet. She was out with a knee thing, so she hasn't come in yet. I think she's actually supposed to play for the first time this weekend. I think she's the only rookie that we haven't seen yet. I think all the other rookies have at least been in one of their games. So I'm excited to see her get some minutes for Connecticut because she's a really good post player and she's a very energetic player. So she's fun to watch. So definitely excited to see her hop in on one of the lineups. And I'll say for Dallas, their thing is just learning each other. Paige is a rookie, so her kind of being the point, she's got to get used to like where Rike's spots are when it's time for her to get her shot off and just controlling the tempo and pushing when they have it, but then just controlling half court when they need to, take their time. But I think Paige's overall game is going to help Dallas create consistency as far as like offense and getting on a rhythm, as opposed to previous years. They've been like completely just up and down, up and down, up and down. One day they look good, one day look bad. 2 games look good, 2 games look bad. Even in the losses, like you can see stretches where they get it and they move the ball and people are able to get the shots they like, and they're not difficult shots, they're normal shots. And I think that's going to help Enrique. She struggled a little with her shot, but like I said, it's only been the first week of the season, so I'm not terribly worried. But I hope she catches a rhythm with her shot, and then I hope they catch a rhythm with each other, because I think Dallas has a nice squad as well, and they could definitely win a lot of games and have a better record than they've had some years and actually do something. So hopefully they get themselves together. in the next couple weeks. Because as I said, in a W, you can't take too long because the season goes fast. There's a lot of games, not a lot of practice. So they're going to have to figure something out. Hopefully they'll get some film, get a couple practices in, and create a system for them. And people forget, you have to remember, half of these teams have new coaches and new systems. And not every player is going to get it right off the bat. Even if you are a seasoned player, if your coach is implementing a new system, that's something everybody's got to learn. Whether you're new, old, whatever, like, if the coach implements a new system, everybody's learning something and is going to have to adjust to it. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, we'll see some teams really start to gel better and play better together with their new additions and within their new coaches system. So there's a lot of teams actually have new coaches this year. It's like 6 or 7 teams out of the 13 got a new coach this year. And I don't know, outside of like the first couple seasons, if we've had that many new coaches at one time. And so that makes it a little bit harder for teams to look super good in the beginning as well, because new system takes time, especially when they don't have like weeks of practice before the season. Like I said, preseason was like a week or two, and then training camp was like a week, and so the season came as soon as that draft was over. It was like boom, 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 boom. Now we in the season, and it's time to win. It's time to make it count. So we'll see how it all shakes out for all these teams. But like I said, it wasn't really too many surprises. There was a few bright spots and a few like, but it's definitely too early to get overly excited, and it's too early to panic. And that's what any of the teams, like, there's only been 1 week. Some teams have only played 2 games. Some teams have played 3. And that's not a lot considering how many games they have to play. So definitely, no matter your team, don't go shooting over the moon, but don't panic either. A lot of these teams will get it together, and we'll see how the standings shake up in the next few weeks. So I'm excited because there's already been some really good games this week. Let's see. I wrote down. Because we got, let's see, the Washington homeowner, which I was there. Washington beat Atlanta by 4. And that was a close game. And as I said, seeing the rookies live, like, I had already said that I knew we did good in the draft. I just didn't expect for us to rely on them this early. But they've stepped up to the plate, and they're just learning and hooping. And I'm proud of them. We just lost last night, but that's going to happen. It's, like I said, new coach, new players. It's not going to always be great. So I take the good points from each game, whether we win or lose. There's something we can take from and move forward to the next game. And our rookies have been playing really well. And Brittany Sykes has been playing really well. Like, and one thing I noticed last game is she had almost all the points. And it's going to be hard for Washington to win if she's the only one scoring. Like, we're going to have to score by committee. It's going to have to at least be 2, 3, 4 people in double figures usually for us to win. It's depending on who we playing. And it can't, like, it's weird because the previous 2 games before that, like, we were spread out. Like, Sykes had points, Sonya had points, Kiki had points, Kiki had the boards. So the rookies trying to maintain some consistency scoring in their rookie season is definitely going to be a challenge. Because you're going to have games where you're going to be off. And so we have to figure that out. And like I said, it's only been a couple games, so I'm not in panic mode with my team. Like, I've enjoyed watching them so far, and the rookies have been hooping, and I'm glad we got the picks that we got. Minnie beat Dallas, In that game, Nafisa dropped 34, game one. And I told y'all, Nafisa in Minnesota is on a revenge tour. They are not happy that they lost to New York last year. They are not happy. So they coming after everybody. I've seen that in the first couple games. Like, they did not like how things ended last year. So they definitely on a revenge tour. And then you had Plum drop 37 in LA's first game. They played Golden State. And LA won that game. So Golden State lost their first game. But obviously they won last night against my Mystics. You know, it is what it is. The Aces played New York on their ring night. So the Liberty got their championship rings, and they played the Aces. And New York won that game 92-78. Asia was being Asia. She had 31 and 16. So she's still hungry as well. So she's probably going to have another MVP type season, just like Nafisa is. But New York has been balanced between Stewie, Cloud, Sabrina, and Jonquel Jones. All of them have been playing really well to start the season. Chicago has been struggling. They have a new coach and a lot of new pieces. So I'm not sure how their team framework is going to be. So I'll keep an eye out for them the next couple weeks. Clark had a triple-double in the first game of the season, 20-10-10. I expect she's going to have more triple-doubles this season because of the teammates that she has. So I definitely think she's going to have a lot more triple-doubles this season. And she's going to give Alyssa Thomas a run for her money. Because previously, Alyssa Thomas was the one getting the multiple triple-doubles a season. And we got Phoenix, Satu Sabli, and Alyssa Thomas have been hooping. Alyssa been flirting with triple-doubles, but she hasn't had one yet, but she's been flirting with them. And Satu just being Satu offensively. So Phoenix has actually been winning, which has been nice for them because they're starting with a new framework as well. Then Washington beat Connecticut. Sykes had 27 points and 7 assists that game. And then Kiki had 17-14 that game. And then that's the game where we have 4 people in double figures. And we definitely are going to have that against a lot of the better teams. Like, we're going to have like 4 or 5 people in double figures to even keep it the way it is. Minnesota. And then, let's see. Paige has been doing great. The game against Seattle, she had 19 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. So I think Paige is good for Dallas. They have some things to figure out as a team and how they're going to run their offense consistently. And I've noticed there's a lot of teams that are trying to throw in a little more faster pace. And which that's another thing that contributes to inconsistent offense, turnovers, and things like that. Is if you don't have enough time to get your team practicing running that fast pace consistently, there's going to be lapses just because it has to be done on a consistent basis for, muscle memory, mental memory, just getting the players in that rhythm. So you can see a lot more teams trying to implement that in their game, but not all teams are going to be able to sustain that. So we'll see how that changes or fluctuates throughout the season as it goes on. There's some teams that are definitely more built to be able to run a faster pace compared to some of the other teams where they just don't have the personnel to really run a super fast pace. So we'll see how all that shakes out as the season progresses. I've definitely seen more teams trying to run more up-tempo. Some teams just worked out good, and other teams, they've had high turnover games. So we'll see how the coaches adjust or make changes as the season progresses. Like I said, it's only been week 1. Most teams only 2 or 3 games, so small sample size right now. But the games have been definitely fun to watch. and a lot of players are definitely, they came in shape, ready to play. Whereas previous years, sometimes the beginning of the season looks shaky as far as like people being in shape, people's shots falling, different things like that. It seems like this year a lot of players have come in just ready to play. So it's definitely been some exciting games, and I'm very, very excited for this season and to see how it all actually ends up shaping out as far as the teams that make the playoffs, who actually ends up in the MVP race. And one thing that's up in the air is also Rookie of the Year. I think there's more people in the race than we anticipated, at least so far. So we'll see how long some of these rookies can keep up with what they started. Listen, I need to do that little motivation. Bam. Oh man, let me do my recap before OBS block out again. I told you I wasn't adding it to this channel. I told you it wasn't gonna be on this channel. Alright. Wins, 0 losses. New York is at number 2 with 2 wins, 0 losses. Phoenix, number 3, 2 wins, 0 losses. Washington, 2 wins, 1 loss. Indiana, 2 wins, 1 loss. Golden State, 1-1. The Aces, 1-1. Seattle Storm, 1-1. LA Sparks, 1-2. Atlanta, 1-2. Connecticut, 0-2. Chicago, 0-2. Dallas, 0-3. And as I said, there wasn't too many surprises. Dallas not having a win is definitely a surprise, but somewhat understandable because they have a new coach. Their point guard is a rookie. They got a new system, so they're working out the kinks, so I'm not too worried about Dallas. Washington was a little bit of a surprise because we relied heavily on our rookies the beginning so far, but they have been hooping and doing their thing, so I'm really excited about the rookies for the Washington Mystics. Minnesota, New York, no surprises there. A lot of other teams have new coaches and new systems, so they're still trying to work out the kinks and get in rhythm with each other. So there's no reason to panic for any team right now, and there's also no reason to, shoot over the moon and think that somebody's way out of the park either. Like I said, it's only been 1 week. Most teams have only played 2 games. Some teams have played 3. But all the games have been competitive, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2. They've been really competitive, so that's been great to see. Been great basketball, great games. So it's very exciting. A lot of teams have been shooting a lot of threes so far. So we'll see if any other 3-point records get broken this season. New York as a team broke the record last night with 19 threes as a team in their game. So a lot of teams shooting a lot of threes and playing more up-tempo. So we'll see if that actually lasts the whole season, because it is a lot of games. So we'll see which teams are actually able to sustain that type of style of play and actually win with it as well. So we'll keep an eye on how teams either keep their offense the same or change it or tweak it as the season rolls along. But so far, the games have been fun to watch. So week 1 is in the books. Everybody's looking good. I think we have 4 games tonight, and so I'm definitely excited for this season. A lot of teams have gotten better, so that means that games will be more competitive. So I'm really, really excited to watch all the games this season. Also, the Women's Hockey League is in their finals. Their series matchup is 1-1. I'll have to check. I think it's a best of 5, and I think they play again tonight. And as I said, their playoffs are on YouTube. So if you just look up the Women's Hockey League on YouTube, their games are streamed live on YouTube. So definitely check it out, because the games have been really good. A lot of their games have been going into overtime or multiple overtimes. So there's a lot of great women's sports on right now. So definitely tune in, catch some highlights. If you can't watch a whole game, definitely check out some highlights. So it's definitely been some really good games on. The women's soccer league is still going, so those games have been really good as well. So there's a lot of ways to watch women's sports right now. So definitely tune in, and it's a lot of good sports on right now. So definitely catch what you can, whether it's a full game or whether it's highlights. Definitely tune in because it's going to be a great season for all of these leagues. Really excited to continue to show you guys and keep you updated as well. With that being said, the goal of Welcome Home and Lady Blue Flames is to educate, promote, support, and appreciate women's sports. Again, we are here to educate, appreciate, support, and promote women's sports. There's a lot going on right now, a lot of ways to support. So tune in, support where you can, when you can, is much appreciated. Thank you guys again. Welcome home.